Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Now let's talk about Nicolas Jackson. Yep, Nicolas Jackson, Xavi Simons, and the latest on Eberechi as now Arsenal have been offered the chance to sign both Nicolas Jackson from Chelsea and Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig. Now, the teams, Chelsea apparently have a very good relationship with them, and Leipzig, after the Sesko situation, we don't have a good relationship with them, but we've been offered both players. So, what is our answer for Nicolas Jackson? Are we going to sign 3 players from Chelsea in one transfer window? Get Nicolas Jackson instead of Victor Gyökeres? Just imagine if you're Victor Gyökeres and you see Arsenal signing Nicolas Jackson and you've been crying to join Arsenal for like 2 months. That would be absolutely crazy. But yes, we've been offered a chance to sign him. And would you take Nicolas Jackson at Arsenal? Let me know. I mean, that would be a record-breaking transfer window. Getting 3 players from Chelsea, that would be absolutely crazy. But looks like Arsenal this time I've been like, what? Nah. Hand of Arsenal says that Ali Barat, who was involved in Arsenal's deal for Noni Madueke, also offered Nicolas Jackson to the Gunners. Arsenal declined the offer. Arsenal declined a Chelsea player. What? We said no to a Chelsea player. That is absolutely crazy. Usually, has Arsenal ever said no to a Chelsea player? I actually don't think in the history of football you have ever actually said no to a Chelsea player. It's always been yes, ever since William Gallas back in 2006. We've never said no to a Chelsea player. It's been that long. But this time round, it actually looks like we're not going to get Nicolas Jackson. Now, the crazy thing is, I'm sure if you had to ask Nicolas Jackson to join Arsenal, he would say yes very, very quickly. I'm sure if you had to ask Chelsea to sell to you Nicolas Jackson, they would say yes. But Arsenal have come to their senses with this one and have been like, nah, we are not going to get Nicolas Jackson. Now, let's say if Nicolas Jackson was a very, very good player, Chelsea, I think, won something like £85 million for Nicolas Jackson. Can you imagine? Just imagine if Arsenal went and paid 85 million for Nicolas Jackson and said no to 65 million for Victor Gyökeres. The fans would go crazy. We would actually go crazy. All of us would actually go crazy. So that's not going to happen. But the guy involved in the Madueke deal is also involved in the Nicolas Jackson deal. So he offered him to Arsenal, and Arsenal did not say even, maybe if we don't sign Gyökeres or any other player, we're going to come back for him. This was a straight no, according to hand of Arsenal. We are not going to be coming for Nicolas Jackson. Now, this particular one, I would not even allow at all. For Madueke, the money is too much already, but we are hoping that it works out for him. He's young and all that. But for Nicolas Jackson, there's been so many wrong things like he's been doing at Chelsea over the last couple of years, if you include the red cards as well that he's picked up in like all of those competitions over the last 3 months. You don't want that problem with discipline and inconsistency. We're looking for good forward players, not players like Nicolas Jackson. I saw someone saying we should be reporting this Ali Barat guy to Interpol or something, because offering us Nicolas Jackson in itself is a crime, which I kind of have to agree. So I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. We don't want you for real. Nope, we don't want you. We do not want Nicolas Jackson at Arsenal. No, thank you. So that one you can quickly forget about it. Gyökeres or no one, it has to be Gyökeres. The only options are Gyökeres and Sesko. It has to be Gyökeres. Like I've actually said, even if Isaac became available, I would still take Gyökeres ahead of Isaac because of the price. Because I just prefer Gyökeres as a player, and the price range just makes it even more easier for me to choose Gyökeres. And on top of that, the way Gyökeres has demanded to join Arsenal, come on, it has to be Gyökeres. Sign him, and then we can forget about talking about other strikers. The thing is, the more we continue talking about strikers, and are we going to get to the asking price of Gyökeres from Sporting and all that, until the day Gyökeres signs for Arsenal, all these other stories will be coming according from agents and from other teams. When Jackson becomes available, he's been linked. When Kunku becomes available, he'll be linked. When Højlund becomes available from Man United, you'll hear someone saying, so might go in for Højlund. But after you have Gyökeres, all these rumors and all these other outlets that like using Arsenal as a way to get clicks and all that, they're not going to be mentioning Arsenal as being linked to those players, because they'll know we already have the top striker that we need, and we don't need any other striker. But as of now, because you haven't gotten him, all those stories will be coming up every single time, because it's not officially been done, and there's those rumors of could he go to Man United, and then maybe Arsenal get Hoyland, all those crazy stories will be popping up. But that's the latest. Yeah, Nicolas Jackson was actually linked or was offered to us, funny enough, but that one is not happening. Now, Xavi Simons was also offered to Arsenal as well. And he was offered by the same person, the same agent who just gave us Madueke and is offering us Jackson. So I don't know if he has contact with all of these players. Is all these players his clients? Ali Barat, who was involved in Arsenal's deal for Noni Madueke, also offered Xavi Simons to the Gunners. My goodness, this guy is really offering us player after player after player. He's involved in all three of these deals. That would be crazy. But he's offered us Xavi Simons. Now, we talked about Xavi Simons. We did a poll between him and Eze, and 87% said they would prefer Eze ahead of Xavi Simons, but there was 13% who preferred Xavi Simons, and a few people are like, Xavi Simons the better player, is younger, he's done it in an international stage, which is true. Both of them played against us a couple of seasons ago, both him and Madueke. They're on the same team there, so could we see this same celebration but in red shirts next season? Could it be a possibility? I don't think there's a way you'd get Xavi Simons and also Eze. I think it's going to be one of them. And Xavi Simons would cost around 55 million. So could Arsenal decide to go for Xavi Simons instead if the Eze one doesn't work out, or if Crystal Palace actually come out of nowhere and say no, we're not selling him. Actually, we want to keep him. Now, personally, I would prefer Eze, as I've always said, but it depends on what you're looking at. So before I show you compare the two, just look this from Arsenal according to Philip Sport. Arsenal are interested in Xavi Simons, but our sources have had they are focusing on Eze still, but if they cannot get that over the line, then Simons is the backup for them. So we are looking at Eze first. If getting Eze is not possible, then we might come back for Xavi Simons as a backup option. Now, the argument is some would say we should be going for Xavi Simons and Eze should be a backup option. For me, I wanted Morgan Rogers first. In the transfer window opened, Gyökeres and Morgan Rogers, but for sure take Eze at Arsenal in a heartbeat. Now, if you compare the two, depending on what you're looking at, you could argue for any of them. If you're looking at age, Xavi Simons is only 22, Eze is 27, so there's a 5-year gap there, and that is almost the same as what we are trying to do with Gyökeres and Sesko, and the fact that Gyökeres is also 27, just like Eze, and Sesko is like close to Xavi Simons as well. Arsenal were being linked to Sesko more because apparently we preferred him because he was for the future, he was younger. Could it be the same with Xavi Simons? Could Arsenal, want Eze, but since Xavi Simons has become available, they could change their mind and go for Xavi Simons? It could be. But in terms of age, Eze is heading into his prime. Xavi Simons still has a lot of years to go. Premier League experience, obviously you look at Eze. Eze has more Premier League experience. Xavi Simons has never really played in England, so would he adapt? You've seen so many players signing from countries from abroad and they come to England and they really struggle. Eze obviously has not been struggling. He's English and he's adapted very quickly to the Premier League. Doesn't have a problem with that. He's been playing in England for a long, long time. But what about the goal contributions? For ones who like to look at stats and goal contributions, which one is better? Now, let's do this. So over the last 3 seasons, let's start with last season. Last season, Xavi Simons played 33 games for Leipzig. He scored 43 goals. Not 43 goals, I wish. He played 33 games. He scored 11 goals and 8 assists. 43 is a different number from elsewhere. In the previous season, he played 43 games. He scored 10 goals and had 15 assists. So double figures for both of those in the 23-24 season. And then the 22-23 season, he was playing for a different team. He was playing for PSV at that point. He scored 22 goals and had 11 assists in 48 games. So Xavi Simons overall, over the last 3 seasons, he's played 124 games and he's had 77 goal contributions, 43 goals and 34 assists. So those are very, very good numbers from Xavi Simons. And also for Netherlands, he's been playing really, really well for them as well. So very, very capable player. He's been moving around a lot recently over the last 3-4 years, PSG, PSV, Leipzig. I think Leipzig actually signed him permanently just recently, but they already want to sell him. Now, what about Eze? Eze played 43 games this past season. He scored 14 goals Why are you guys getting 40 from? 14 goals and 11 assists. 31 games the previous season, 11 goals, 6 assists. The previous season, 40 goals, 10 goals, 4 assists in 40 games. So let me repeat that. 43 games, 14 goals, 11 assists. 31 games, 11 goals, 6 assists. And then 22-23 season, 40 games, 10 goals, 4 assists. So in total, over the last 3 seasons, Eze, he played 114 games. He scored 35 goals and had 21 assists. So that is 56 goal contributions in 114 games. So if you compare the two, Xavi Simons, 43 goals, 34 assists in 124 games. So he's played 10 more games over the last 3 seasons, more than Eze. He has more goals than Eze, and he has more assists than Eze. So if you're just looking at goal contributions, and because he's younger, he has more than 21 more goal contributions than Eze over the last 3 seasons. You'd argue, wow, let's get Xavi Simons is more promising, just like Arsenal have been saying with Sesko, although Yokere's numbers are way better than Sesko. Now, in these situations, Xavi Simons' numbers are better than Eze. But if someone prefers Eze, they could argue that those numbers in England, it's more difficult to get those numbers in the Premier League. Maybe he's been getting those numbers easier because he's been playing in Netherlands and also Germany, but I don't personally agree with that. Those are 2 different countries he's done it, and also he's been playing for Netherlands and scoring in an international stage as well. So if you look at that, both would be really, really good buys. Xavi Simons' numbers are better, but people stylistically and the way it fit into our team, many people would prefer Eze according to the votes. But then again, in terms of positions and how they would fit in at Arsenal, Xavi Simons is more of an attacking midfielder. He plays up front as well. He can play on the left side. He can play on the right side. We personally don't really have a problem with the right side. After Gyökeres, we won't really have a problem with the forward line. Are we really looking for an attacking midfielder? Odegaard is the one who's going to be starting. So that is not really a position that we are looking to change. We're looking for someone who's going to come and play next to Odegaard. So maybe in that case, Eze would be better to play next to Odegaard than Xavi Simons next to Odegaard. Maybe if Odegaard is not on the pitch, that's when you want Xavi Simons to be the lone number 10 by himself. So it depends on how you're looking at it, but you can actually make a good argument for both of them in terms of Premier League experience, age, goal contributions, the way they fit into a team, all of that. You can make an argument for both of them. So price-wise as well, Xavi Simons would be cheaper, 55 million. I don't know if they would add add-ons on top of that. And for Eze, it'd be 60 million plus 8 million in add-ons for the release clause, unless Arsenal negotiate. So after hearing all of those numbers, would you change your mind and say, okay, I would get Xavi Simons instead of Eze? Let's see. But that is the latest. We've been linked to Xavi Simons, or we've been offered Xavi Simons, but Arsenal still prefer to get Eze fast. So let's see how both of those 2 stories develop. Ali Barat has been offering us players after player, offered us Nicolas Jackson, gave us Madueke, and now offering us Xavi Simons. Will Arsenal go ahead with that deal, and will they change their mind from Eze if it doesn't happen? Let's wait and see. But all that is very interesting. Make sure to check the video from earlier. We talked about Gyökeres, we talked about the latest on players like Mosquera, and a lot to discuss. Let's hope this coming week we do get some deals done, and then obviously games against AC Milan and Newcastle coming up. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.